Welcome back to Open Line. We are talking about suicide. I am joined by Becky Stoll from Centerstone Health Services. These statistics just boggle the mind that half of everyone knows someone who has died from suicide. You know, the rate of suicide is highest among the middle-aged people.
Yes.
Men, more than 3 times more likely to kill themselves than women.
Yes.
Why is that?
Oftentimes, what we see in the U.S. is when men make a suicide attempt, it usually kills them.
Okay.
Men, usually the manner of a suicide death is usually with a weapon of some sort, and that's most often fatal. Where we, on the female side, the means is usually something different, which has the potential maybe to not be as lethal. So you'll see the rates of suicide attempts much higher in women than we see in men, just for that reason. Weapons are much more deadly than some of the other ones that don't result in a death.
When people attempt suicide, I mean, that is clearly a cry for help.
Right.
What about when people are talking about it? How seriously should you take it when someone mentions the hopelessness or despair or even thinking about killing themselves?
I think it's more concerning when sometimes there are these covert signs and symptoms that are nice for people to be attuned to, and the people that are around them, whether it's your coworkers, your family, your friends, the bowling league people, whomever you're around. If you're looking at them from kind of a 15,000 foot view and not this 1,000 foot view, you can see some signs. It's more alarming when people do talk about it, whether they're being a little vague and saying, I don't think I can take this much longer, maybe I'd be better off if I wasn't here, maybe they'll be better off if I wasn't here, all the way to I'm thinking about this. I really feel like they're putting their toe in the water with you when they say that. They're seeing what your reaction's going to be. And if somebody says to you, I'm not sure how much longer I can take this, I'm really not sure I can hang on any longer, and you say, how about those Titans? You think they're going to have a good season this year? And go, you know, what you're messaging back out to them is, I'm not comfortable having this conversation with you. And that's usually not because we don't care about people. We do. It's we don't know what to say.
We're afraid to say the wrong thing, perhaps, or what? Yeah. What do we say? So what do we say? What do we do?
I think in those scenarios, you ask clarifying questions. You know, hey, let me stop you right there. Let me just check in with you. Are you telling me you're having thoughts of maybe wanting to kill yourself? Call it what it is. Then maybe they put their ankle in the water, and they are able. They go, oh, this person I can have this conversation with because they just did that with me, and then they, you know, disclose, and then, you know, hopefully that person can help facilitate getting them some care that they need and some help that they need. But when we stonewall, and we don't stonewall because we are bad people, we stonewall because it scares us and we don't know what to say.
Yeah. Let me ask you, as far as getting care, I'll be honest with you, a family member had talked about suicide.
Sure.
Pediatrician gave us the list of half a dozen people in Nashville to talk to.
Right.
You can't get in to see them. It's 6 to 8 months to get in to see them. They don't take insurance.
Right.
They require cash up front.
Yes.
And which is a substantial amount of money.
Right.
And they're not taking new patients, or you can't, you know, it's 6 to 9 months out. In a situation like this, what do you do? And in talking to some of these doctors, they say in Nashville, in Davidson County, in Middle Tennessee, we have a very serious issue with mental health and getting treatment for all the people who need it. What do we need to do to make it accessible to everyone who needs it?
I think it's twofold. I think one is reaching out to, you know, the number I've given, or other people that can help you. We need people to help navigate. The behavioral health waters, in terms of access, if you don't understand or know, can be very choppy, just for the reasons you said. You'll get a list of 25 physicians. I mean, people aren't sure oftentimes what's the difference between a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a licensed social worker, and a licensed professional counselor. Everybody thinks, I want to do talk therapy, so I need to go see a psychiatrist, which is not really the case. So it's really navigating and getting assistance in navigating those waters. And once you do kind of navigate them, and you don't get a list of 25 people in your zip code and you're going, I don't know, is if somebody's having suicidal thoughts, there's ways to get them bumped up to the top. It's not that you say, you know, I really am feeling anxious sometimes, or maybe I'm feeling sad, or I'm going through a divorce, or I'm, you know, things that are a little lower grade. Maybe you can wait. Not that it feels good to do that, because we do have a shortage in some areas. But if they're truly having suicidal thoughts, we need to be saying that as we navigate that system to say, no, they need to come in now.
Right.
Because either they could end up killing themselves, or they end up in emergency departments.
Right.
And then you talk about the waters being tough. They're then much tougher. Then you have an ER bill,
right,
which is going to add oftentimes to the stress you have. So sometimes I think we need some hand holding and some good care coordination. Instead of a sheet that's got people listed and say, good, you know, good luck with that.
But from what I understand, the beds, the inpatient care facilities are full in Davidson County and the surrounding area, and it's you're often waiting for someone to move out, and then you can move your person in.
And I would say this. Going into an inpatient psychiatric facility is a serious decision. The day after an inpatient psychiatric stay is the highest day of suicides. It has the highest rate of suicides is the 1 day post-discharge. So we need to take putting people inpatient very seriously, because there's lots of other things we can do besides, you know, and I think oftentimes that's why someone is leery. If I say I'm having ideations of killing myself or thoughts, that means I'm going into an inpatient psych hospital, which can be on this side of that very frightening. Yeah. I worked for one for 13 years, and there are people that need to be in inpatient facilities, and the care is excellent. But there's a lot of other things to do. It's a continuum, and we don't need to kill a fly with a sledgehammer. You can incrementally ramp up levels of care as need warrants.
Good. Well, we'll talk, and I know Centerstone offers a lot of these services. We'll talk more about that, and we will get to more of your calls. We've got to take a quick break, but we'll be back in just a moment.